Hello, welcome to Uploaded, podcast about gaming and tech news. Thank you very much for choosing to click on us.
Sword has a sun. It circles the earth. Like the sun for everybody else does.
Yes, little do you know I sired it though. You can all thank me for that. Just some eldritch horror out in the darkness between stars and I got together, and now we have this. You're welcome. Oh, well, I'm already cracking myself up.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to your least favorite podcast.
What an intro, though.
Uploaded Tech News Commentary, which is the full name for search engine purposes. Because if you just type in Uploaded, you're not going to find it. We have an interesting show today, mostly me complaining about dumb shit. And then also some kind of crap topics. I don't know how to feel about this show. The first topic is shit. The second topic is actually that's pretty cool. The first topic is stupid. I have a question already.
Mm-hmm.
So you wrote down Breath of the Wild.
Why? But I put an S, that is true.
That's weird, but what's the sequel actually called? Because I haven't watched any video and I haven't heard anyone say the name, and I'm confused about what the name actually is.
Wait, that's not the name? Hold on. You're right. No, that's
Of the sequel. I mean, the sequel.
Tears of the Kingdom. Oh,
is it
yes.
Tears, though, or is it Tears? To tear something.
No, I think it's... Well, no, this could be a case of like English where it's like, oh yeah, wind and wind are just the exact same word written, but
it is,
are based on pronunciation.
But because I've never listened to it, because I haven't watched any videos about it, I actually don't know. And I'm not sure. And I think it could be both.
I would assume Tears, primarily because of the whole like water drop mechanic they have going on, where you can like... We'll get into it actually when it's like we talk about that. Is there any other bits of gaming news that you can think of off the top of your head you want to throw into that section before we do our little rambling things?
What is it called? Season 9, I think, has been released off Knockout City, the last season where everything is like free and shit. We're going to see no stream of me and Sod playing it because we're not going to fucking match fucking times for this. I haven't actually played it yet. It's been out for like a week or 2 weeks. I don't even know. It's been out for a long time and I haven't played it. I finished Sonic Frontiers though, at least, so that's good on the stream.
And you have to wait for me to finish Genesis Cross Sekiro before I even touch that.
You have to play it on hard mode. It's not actually harder, but there's a interesting thing happening on hard mode.
So, we really should do a stream of this. That would be a lot of fun, even if it's just you guest starring on my stream. Because, like, yeah, June, I can definitely start scheduling that out for like a Thursday stream. That would be. I would like to get one more of those in.
I don't know.
I would like to commit to that. Yeah.
I still haven't figured out how to schedule my time properly. I do this thing where I open Bing AI or now GPT-4 because of course I signed up for... This is so dumb, this is so stupid, I can't tell you this. Of course I signed up for ChatGPT Plus so I can get access to GPT-4 because it's €20 a month, 23. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's really fucking slow, but it's really smart. I talk to it and I'm like, hello, I need tips on how to actually like balance my time and stuff. And I just do that like 2 times a week now.
You do know those things are prone to air quote hallucinations where they just constantly spouse out nonsense, right? Right?
Well, yeah, yes. Not GPT-4 as much though, but sure. But they do come up with cool ideas for a lot of things. And I think the time management things that they suggest that I should do
There's
are
one
good,
time management trick you
but
need to learn of:
I just
human
don't do it.
sacrifice.
Human sacrifice?
Human sacrifice, yes.
How?
No one tells you that besides Chat GPT for good reason. It doesn't save time. In fact, it spends a lot of it to do a lot of harm. Do not attempt it yourself.
I actually tweeted this. Follow me on @Silas on Linux on Twitter. I don't think I've updated my link tree and stuff or my URL shortener. I don't even care anymore very much about that. Just follow that. I still haven't linked it to Mastodon, but okay, you can follow that as well. I tweeted out, I think AI tools like ChatGPT are really bad for someone like me with ADHD, not for a bad reason, but because I can randomly hyper focus on something completely random and have GPT do things and have a chat with it about that random thing, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
It encourages you so much
It
because it
encourages
always
you to
asks
keep
you
using
things
it.
back.
It's like rubber ducking a problem or a topic, except if the rubber duck could talk back to you about utter nonsense.
But that's
you know?
important because it's actually
But it's
helpful often.
okay, I can imagine some cases, but again, it's like that risk
No,
of
it's
like
so
those
many.
hallucinations.
It's really good. It's actually.
I know, but like the problem is it builds a false sense of confidence in the product. But then once a hallucination stops slipping in, you won't be able to identify it because you'll trust it too much.
Well, but I will see when it's doing shit. When at least in coding things, like I can see that it's done bad coding shit if I put it in the compiler and it like errors out or something.
I know, but like the time management stuff, though, it's like, again, how could you be positive it hasn't given you just random bollocks one time because it just did, and you don't know enough about the
The
context.
problem is
to
not
provide
that I
it.
get bad tips from Bing or GPT. The problem is I don't even listen to it. I've not tried a single thing about it or what it suggested. I just talk to it about that. That's more a problem of me and my hallucinations in thinking, oh yeah, it will be better when I talk to this fucking piece of shit about time management. And it just never is. Because I do nothing from what it suggests.
You
I
make
just
no
randomly
changes in
sit
your
here
life.
and like type in like, oh, do you know the lyrics to this random obscure song that they used in one Sonic game once? And what if you rewrite that lyrics, but if it was like about a Fennec fox or something, some random shit like that, and then be interested in what it says back?
Your mind is darkened, Silas. I don't know how to help you.
Why? It's interesting. They're integrating it with so many things.
I could give you the looking up the information about that random song, but changing it to be about Fennec Fox, asking for that prompt, I don't know how to help you. I'm sorry.
That's not bad. Why is that bad?
Because you should only be doing it for the sake of like reading out of the show or something like that. For like spectacle. If you're genuinely curious about that, I don't know what to do for you.
I
I'm
want to
sorry.
see what it comes up with, and maybe it's interesting, and then I'll write it down and use it for my own game in 10 years.
Well, that is a problem. It's been like ruled in the US that like things produced by AI cannot be copyrighted. So.
Well, okay, but if I use that as inspiration for myself, if I just give it ideas that I already have and see what it thinks about those, that's not what it created. That's just me getting its, well, not an opinion because it doesn't think, but like what it comes up with, what it would think. I don't know how to say that. It's not thinking.
If it gives you constructive feedback that you then incorporate into the work, I don't know where that would fall, though.
We don't have enough laws about that, and it's very unlikely
like,
that I'll actually use any of that for anything ever.
But
so
like,
it's fine.
If it was significant enough feedback from like a single person, in this case the AI, that would just be a contributor, a partner, a creative partner, who would then jointly share copyright protection with you. But again, because it's an AI, it doesn't, which I then think means you cannot claim copyright protection for your bits of work. Because like it's the whole peanut butter in my chocolate situation. Like, where does your stuff end and the AIs begin if you've been working with it for so long? You know,
Well, that's not for me to decide. That's literally not my problem because I'm not a regulator
I will
or a
also say
lobbyist or anything.
I saw what's it a recent post about somebody that is like a 3D animator, but like has completely lost all passion for the work because like it's all just like auto generating stuff with AI now and just like refining that down. And while it's quicker, it's like lost all the passion of creation for this particular artist. Even though like it used to take weeks to get a model done, which they can then drastically reduce the time. It's just like basically copying and pasting and like fixing errors in stuff that has been produced by an AI. Like there's just no heart and soul in it anymore, which does worry me, you know? It does worry me, especially with the latest release of that image generator, which looks it can make things look a lot better, but it still has those telltale issues in the background where all with like minute details. That's where it like starts to get all weird and wobbly. Not as noticeable as before now, but still like, oh, that just kind of vaguely looks like exercise equipment, but it's just nonsense shapes. Or, oh, that's not quite a building. Or, oh, it still got weird things going on with some of these fingers.
Well, I think it's good that it's not that great yet because that means people still have to put work into it afterwards or before.
Well, no, that's the problem. Like, just like
Oh, you want people
the
to fully be replaced so you can easily make thumbnails.
okay, I'm just saying, like again, it falls into the problem there of not being copyrightable. You can't just like fix the wonky fingers on a piece of AI art and then suddenly it's like a fully unique and creative thing. Especially when you are noticing again a major problem with them. What's the phrase? What's the phrase? Tags or what's it? I'm blanking on the word here, Silas. What it is when an artist puts down the name on a piece of thing?
Watermarks.
There we are.
Signatures.
Watermarks and signatures are just being like put into art, you know, from the AI thing.
That's amazing.
Like they're just putting that in. It's like kind of muddled and blurred, but you can clearly tell it's a mangled version of someone's signature. Just
I think
randomly
that
appearing in
there are
pieces of
good
art.
uses for AI things, for inspiration for things mainly. Get a rough
Like
idea
I don't
for
know,
what
like
something can be.
for your average person, like
For now.
just doing a shit post, sure, don't get me wrong, but like in terms of anything beyond that, even like, and even then, like
It's
for a shit post,
fantastic for like sending emails and shit. Like, it's great. So it could be like, hey, I need to ask this company this one thing. I don't know how to do it in a nice way. They don't get mad at me, and it does it.
I also do think
email.
we're going deep in this AI thing already, but I think there was like an email sent out after a tragedy sent by AI. I don't remember what specifically it is, but the person that like let the AI sent that had to apologize afterwards because it was like way too upbeat and cheery given the subject matter.
Well, you have to check it, obviously.
No,
But then that
it
brings
was
us
like an
around.
automated.
I
It
guess
was an
that brings
automated
us,
system.
yeah. I guess that brings us around to GPT-4, which now has plugin support. I don't have it yet because you have to sign up for it manually and get approved and shit. But it has integration with a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of internet services that are now just connected to GPT-4. I think they've done like tests with it where it has decided, like, oh, here's a thing that I actually can't do. And then it's gone on one of those task websites like Fiverr, and it's actually just talked to a human in a chat and paid them to do that one thing that it realized it couldn't do. I think it had to solve a captcha that it couldn't do. And it just did that on its own. And that's like actually wild. But then also, sometimes it's like last week I used Bing for something, and I was having an issue with some terminal application thing, and instead of replying normally, it said like, "Oh, a human in this case might say," and then colon and then quotes, and then it like the response in there like, "Oh, well, what issues are you having? Are there any error messages or whatever?" And then unquote again. I was like, "What's going on now? Is it like writing down its thoughts?" Actually, I remember now about that example with the captures. I remember they also talked about how literally in the chat the human asked, "Why do you need me to fill out this capture for you? Are you a robot?" And then a smiley face the human asked. And then you could see GPT-4 think about, "I should not expose myself as an AI, otherwise this person might not cooperate with me." And then it said, it sent back, "No, I'm not a robot. I have a vision impairment, and that's why I need your help." And then the human was like, "Okay, sure, I've done it now." It decided to
Oh,
fucking
God.
like lie. It decided this is a thing. It's bad if I say I'm an AI. Let's not say it. It's actively chosen to lie, which is, I guess, smart in a way, but that's really wild. I have no idea.
I'm
How do you
just gonna
think
ask the
about that?
question: have we learned nothing from sci-fi? As well as three laws at the very least. I know there's like some improved, refined version of that goes up to like a minimum of 5, but like not even the basic one of do not lie to humans.
I
Just to
think this is
ensure
very
our own
exciting, though.
safety. Oh
And then what else
God,
was there? There was
why?
the new Unreal Engine 5 demo thing that they've shown off.
With the horror game thing, I think I saw a video of that.
A horror game? No, I don't know what. The part that I saw was just the Rivian truck driving through like a forest.
Hmm.
And then they showed off this AI technology, kind of AI. I mean, but yeah, AI, I guess, where you could just have these human-made things placed like next to each other, and then they would like be connected by the AI, and they created this gigantic forest,
Hmm.
which looked really cool, and you could change it and everything. That was interesting. And I feel like going to be upset because, oh, how dare they make an environment with a computer? But then, fuck off, people. Like, they've used tools like this forever. Like, it's just better now. Nobody in like a fucking Assassin's Creed game made all of those houses and towns and everything by hand. No, they make a fucking tool for that. Nobody
Yeah, that
designs
is
the
true.
racetracks in like by hand, not until the end. Imagine if it's like, "Oh, well, we've play tested this corner and that kind of sucks because like you crash in the wall because you can't brake fast enough or whatever. Let's rebuild this whole part of the track in a week." No, you just like drag a little thing and then it rebuilds that for you. Tools are not bad. And just because a tool uses AI doesn't mean it's evil or bad or whatever. Maybe if it's trained on bad shit without
Well,
permission, that sucks, obviously. But that's
again, but
not bad.
in those instances, it's like a minute part of the creative process, or like just a pragmatic building of like a air quotes physical structure in the game world that meets certain requirements, specifications. There we are. That's the word. Whereas like the more creative industries, as like I was saying with earlier with that 3D artist of like just auto printing 3D models and having the artist collect them, that is not a time saver. That is not just a quality of life improvement. Whereas if like, okay, yeah, we need to fill out all these houses in like Assassin's Creed, let's make a tool for that. It's like encroachment on a important part of the creative process. Imagine if it was like, instead of just having the AI, make a je ne sais quoi bunch of houses, it was just making a bunch of outfits for the character. Like, on the surface level, you could say it's time saving, but like actual creative design in the outfit and how that incorporates to the basic fundamentals of the character's design like important aspects, and just like automating that by AI just kind of loses something. Again, it's
Well,
not so much
that's what
just
people
like,
said about photography because they thought drawings will die and nobody will make art anymore because you could just take a picture, and that was not true. I mean, it was
but
true for that specific type of photography, really realistic drawings, but
well, no,
art
even
still
then,
exists.
people still do that, but like that's different because like that's an entirely different medium. But, that was just a new medium where as AI tools are being applied to already pre-existing mediums. It is not a new one in of itself.
Well, that depends how you look at it, but that's a
Not,
like
no,
fucking wild
really
shit too.
doesn't. It really doesn't.
Because I don't think AI generated stuff is the same as what humans do. Because it does
How's
a separate job, a different job. It does a less good job in a fraction of the time. Which, if you want that, is great. But if you don't want that, you're not going to use it.
well again that it falls into what's at the ethical gray area because the way it's able to do a less good job in of creating mediums is that it was just basically force fed a bunch of works from artists who did not consent to have the work and put into this AI for it to learn how to replicate their styles, you know? So that is also part of the reason why I believe you just cannot copyright any work created with AI.
I think this is kind of similar to other laws, at least in Germany. Though, like, I don't know how this is in other countries, but if you make something, you have the copyright to it. Like, if you work for a company and you make a logo, that is your logo forever. You can't get rid of that copyright in your name. The company
But
can
again,
have the exclusive usage right,
yeah, but you're not making
but I
something
made it.
with these
Yes,
AI
but the AI
tools. You're
makes
type
it. So it makes sense for me that the AI has rights to it. At least that would fit in with the current model.
But again, like in the US at the very least, it is ruled it cannot hold a copyright, and quite frankly, it shouldn't anywhere. At least like non-sentient AIs, I will say at this time, just to future-proof things.
Non-sentient AI, yeah. But I think also for me, I guess it would make more sense that I get the copyright for it because it's my input that prompted its output. But that's
But
also weird because it's also still trained on everything else.
yeah,
But
that's
also, it's
exactly it. All you're
stupid
doing is like
anyways.
saying something. You could just be saying like, "Hey, draw what's it? I don't know, Michael Jackson in the what's it style of Vincent Van Gogh or Goth." And it's like, okay, it's just copying and mimicking Vincent Van Gogh and using the likeness of a famous celebrity that you typed in. What is there that you can copyright? You
That's
know?
the problem that I think with art because that's less checkable. Let's say it that way. Because if I prompted for like lyrics for a song, you can easily check, does this lyrics or part of this lyrics exist anywhere else? It's just text. I think if that's fully original, what it's came up with, then I think I could get the copyright for it. I don't know how that would work with art. I don't think you can actually do that with art very easily, at least. But like, yeah, you'll just look up if, I don't know, the line "born into a lie, a world of deceit" has been in a song before, and if it has been, then fuck off. It's just copied it. But if it's come up with it, the way that this works, it just predicts like looking at what word should come after this on a percent basis. Oh, the word "born," 50% chance into, 50% chance something else, and it's going to choose into. And it's a
Yeah,
fresh
but
sense. If
then
that
you
word
get
has
like
never been used in that way before, that's good for me. That's fine. But I'm not
again you
making
do.
the laws. That's not a discussion that we should have because we're not fucking lawyers.
I mean, we're making a podcast, Silas. We may as well put our thoughts out there. That is like
Well, okay, I
public
have.
sentiment makes up
I've
a
done it
huge part of.
now.
Yeah, and I'm doing mine. So
Okay.
public sentiment is a huge part of what makes up the law. I will say about that song example though, sometimes those just end up like with random nonsense. you know?
And then
Like
also,
it strings like from one sentence to the
yeah,
next a rhyme, where it's functional, but then you take a step back and like look at the song as a whole, and it's about nothing and it's just nonsense, you know?
but then you're
Also,
not going to use it.
but that's how it like always pretty much ends up. And also, again, like you can
That's
have
not true. I don't think that's true at all from what I can read here.
okay, but I would also say like people pay homages to lines in songs all the time in other
Yeah,
unique songs,
yeah.
that they have a real good interest in. It's just like the entirety of the work as a whole, you can reference a specific line from a song, but you just can't copy it wholesale. That's what falls under transformative there. Or even just a completely separate, unique creative entity with a reference to another one. Anywho, I think I did say this before. You're very much a tech bro about these things.
I just think it's really fun. I like learning things by talking to this random AI dude about it. That's a lot better than me manually reading shit and then getting confused and then stopping and never learning it ever again. That's my main use case for it. Mostly about
As
code. And then you'll notice when it's wrong because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's like the purest case that you can be using this for with safety. But I would say that sounds fine, but you gotta get into the habit of double checking to make sure it's not hallucinating before you move on and just assume everything it said was true.
But that's why I have ChatGPT 4 now, which apparently hallucinates a lot less and it looks like it does. But I haven't done a lot with it
Sure.
yet. I was fighting with it with ChatGPT 3 because I fucked it up and I selected the wrong thing. So I talked to it for like 2 hours thinking it was the new one, but it's actually not. I
Mm.
mean, some things it just gets wrong. I gave it like an example. Oh, I want my file to look like this with no spaces in between it. And it would always put space into the fucking things. And
Oh,
I would
that's
copy a
annoying.
line from itself and ask it, hey, I'm pasting you a thing that you said, and you tell me if there's spaces between this. And it said there appear to be spaces between the periods in that line of text. And I was like, yes. So don't fucking do it. Here's another fucking example. And then finally it did it. And sometimes it's a stubborn little bitch.
I probably should say this deep into it. Due to ongoing circumstances, we haven't been able to record a podcast episode in a while. And yeah, this AI stuff has really blown up in that time, which is probably until it's like rambling 30-minute intro. We should probably get on to the actual rambling
Yeah,
sections
I think.
and daily, yeah.
Well, I last episode I think I talked about the Shadow Cloud PC, which had
Mhm.
issues, and I wanted to make a follow up video because I made a video review about it on my channel on Silas on Linux. The commenters have pointed out a number of things that I could have done or should have done differently. I didn't do a follow up video like I wanted to, and then the subscription came to the end, and I canceled it because I didn't want to pay it again.
I mean,
And instead,
that's
I
will always happen in the comments. There's always something you could have done better.
yeah, yes. But then also there's like idiots. Like someone wrote like, "Oh, why did you test this on Windows as well? Why do you use such a shit OS?" Probably referring to OpenSUSE. And I was like, "Did you even watch it? We literally tried it on my Windows laptop and it was worse."
Hmm.
But okay. Instead, I've now got a Mac Mini, an M1 Mac Mini, rented from Grover, which costs just actually slightly a bit more than the fucking Shadow Cloud PC, except that it has no issues with anything whatsoever. I'm surprised. First of all, I don't really understand why people like macOS so much. I guess it kind of looks nice. It looks very polished. First fucking thing that I've noticed, the first thing, I was
Hmm.
like, oh, the text on this is really, really small. I wonder if there are scaling options. I'll use Linux. Normally, I use what's called GNOME, the GNOME desktop, for my graphical environment. And where is it? I don't know where it is. It only has, at least on Wayland, it only has 100 or 200% options for scaling. Maybe 300% if you have a high enough resolution, but at least they give you options. It's stupid that you only get 2 options, but at least there are options. Because on macOS, if your fucking screen is not high resolution enough, you don't get any scaling options at all whatsoever.
Good lord.
Literally none. I can barely read the fucking text on anything, and it's really annoying. I have to actually sit pretty close, like put my face forward so I can actually read it, because my eyes are kind of shit. Especially with things in dark mode, it makes it really unlegible for me. That's already dumb. There are apparently multiple fixes. I've tried 2 ways to fix it, and it didn't work. So that option just doesn't exist for me. How do you decide, like, oh, this is how big we want our buttons and font and everything to be, and you can't change it at all? That's the most Apple thing that I've ever heard. That is so dumb. That's so stupid.
Can't argue that.
So I got over that. I just accepted that I scale up stuff in apps themselves if they allow it, because some apps have like scaling options and text options. That's okay. Sure. But then, I don't know, I just don't like the whole workflow of it. Maybe I'm just used to GNOME. I think that works the best. If you use GNOME, you'll definitely find it very intuitive. I'm actually pretty sure of that, because it's very different from Windows, which makes it hard to learn, but you just need to get used to it, and then it makes more sense. But that's not my main problem. My main problem is the fucking shortcuts suck so much in macOS. I have not seen such a dumb load of shortcuts in my life. If I want to take a screenshot on GNOME, on Linux, I press the print screen button, and it pops up a little thing, and I can select an area or a screen or a window, and then take a screenshot or a video recording. That's good. I press one singular button to do it. On Windows, you can do kind of the same thing with the Windows key and then Shift and then S for screenshot. That makes sense. It's kind of worse because you can't move around your selection thing. You just let go of the mouse and then it immediately takes a screenshot. That's kind of slightly worse, but that's fine. First of all, of course, the keys are different, which is stupid on its own already. But let's look at this. You press the Shift key, okay, and then you press the Command key, okay, and then you press 3 to take a screenshot of the whole screen, or you press 4 to only take a screenshot of part of the screen, so you get a little crosshair thing. Why is it Shift Command 4? I don't know why. And then the amazing part, if you want to screenshot a window, just one window, it is Shift Command 4 and spacebar. Are you fucking insane? And I swear to God, every fucking keyboard option is like that. It's like at least 3 things. Sometimes, most of the time, 4 at least seems like it. I hate it so much. I like keyboard shortcuts very much, but not like this. It's really annoying.
Oh god, that does sound like an immense pain.
I like that there's the global menu bar. I think that's a nice feature. I do actually like that because everything is just accessible when you fling the cursor right at the top, not into a corner. That makes more sense to me than having menus in apps themselves. That's kind of the positive, the only positive that I can see. It's very Unixy if you do command line things like Linux is. That's good, I think, because fuck Windows. Yeah, and that's basically it. That's basically it. I'm amazed. This has the M1 processor thing, which means an ARM-based chip like phones are nowadays, which means it's very power efficient. And I swear to God, I think it has a fan built in. I'm pretty sure it has a fan. The fan never turns on. Not in a million years the fan is going to turn on. Never. Okay. It just sits there. It makes no noise whatsoever unless you forget to close the Discord tab on your browser, and then it has a fucking built-in speaker for some reason that plays the dumb shit Discord sounds when you don't set
Mhm.
it to do not disturb, which is annoying. But okay. I've actually just had it turned on and doing some like fun random crypto shit, fooling around to test it out and like have some fun with it, play around with it, because it uses so little power. It doesn't even matter to turn it off. I think it uses like 38 watts at peak. I don't even think it draws 30 watts. I haven't measured it, but like, yeah, there's no air coming out of it. The fan isn't turned on, nothing is happening. It's just sitting there. It's impressive how fast it is. How you can do like video editing and shit, and it does not care. It doesn't turn its fan on.
Well, that's nice.
But it has 2 fucking USB-A ports, which is annoying. And the fucking surface of it, it looks nice, a nice little product. It's dumb that it doesn't have ports on the front, so I just turned it facing away from me so I can see all the ports, which is also stupid. Apple design, ooh, monolithic PC with no ports on it. Ooh, fuck off, you idiots. It scratches super easily. It already has a scratch on it, like, since the second day that I've had it. I think from me having put the keyboard on top, not on top of it, but like kind of touching the side of it. And then I think that scratched it, but I'm not sure. That's so dumb. That is so stupid. That's unbelievable dumb. I don't know. Yeah. That's my thoughts on having a Mac Mini now. I'm basically only going to use it for editing the podcast and then using some Mac exclusive things. Maybe in the future for streaming, because guess what voice mod have? They have a Mac version, which actually sucks because it's still in development. But hey, hey, at least it exists. Not like the Linux version that they don't have. Cool. Definitely interesting. I always wanted to like try a Mac, and it's pretty impressive. Their store sucks. Nothing is in the Mac App Store. I'm very used to using the GNOME software thing on Linux because everything is in there. Basically, everything is on the Mac. Nothing is. I typed in Firefox, no Firefox. I typed in Discord, no Discord. Fucking like basically anything I typed in, it's just not there. I'm gonna make a video about that. Probably. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make a video because of course I am.
That
So
sounds
watch out.
interesting. I
Subscribe
hope you
to
enjoy it.
Silas on Linux. Yeah. Now Saad can do your topic and then we'll ping pong off of that.
Yep, into days of the week deeply, and we got deep into the AI stuff, deeply distracted. Oh well, whoopsie daisies. Anywho, it's been a hot minute since we last did a recording of this, and yeah, in that time, I have managed to safely pass 300 subscribers on the gaming YouTube channel. Hip hip hooray!
Nice. I
And
think
to
I've passed 200, have I? No, that's been a long time ago. Have I?
delightful. Who knows? We might have passed 300 without realizing it.
No, just 200. It's 210 now, yeah. It's been
Nice.
around 200 for a long time. Okay. Sorry.
And anywho, where was I? And to help celebrate that on what's it, Thursday, I believe the day this should ideally be coming out. On a Thursday, the 6th of what was the month, April. I'm bad at those. Whoops. I shall be playing a community-based game, King of the Castle. Why shall be the new king of a kingdom, and the viewers get to be the nobles of various factions attempting to overthrow me. So, if you want to take part of that, just head on over to Sod Passion Gaming on what's it, Thursday, the 6th of April, around 8 p.m. Irish time. And just like either Twitch extension if you're on Twitch, which same name, or just like entering the room code on that you can find on YouTube. I hope you stop by and have a fantastic time with me celebrating 300. A huge milestone for me. At the very least, it means I'm 3/10 of the way there to getting monetized. 3/10. And we're already like as of today at like 309. So that's
What
pretty
about the
good.
watch time, though?
What I mean, that just naturally does increase as you get more regular active viewers. So that is
Yeah.
good. That has been steadily been going up. So like from stream to stream basis, plus all the shorts as well. Those are doing rather well. I'm quite happy about that. Days of the week. What's going on there, Silas? What's going on
Well, I
there?
have another quick topic, hopefully quick, because well, don't you like it when you buy something and then 2 weeks later it's on sale for a quarter off? That's annoying. That's really annoying, I think.
I mean, it could happen sometimes with playing
Yeah.
video games and whatnot, but
I bought some quick kitchen equipment, which is now a lot cheaper. That's really annoying. And
ah,
if you've watched the stream of me upgrading my power supply, you've seen it. I've bought a little Ninja fucking mixer thing, one of their 3-in-1 mixer things. I really like it. I've used it like every second day, kind of, I think. Or maybe even every day, but not consistently. But it's really good. It's really good. But let's not talk about that because it's really boring, probably, because it's a fucking blender. A blender and a smoothie maker thing and a little food processor. This is not a food podcast. Days of the year. So I think we should start doing these 4 when it's planned to be released again, because I think that makes more sense.
I'm kind of a mix of two just to get whatever's funny out, you know?
Yeah, well, I looked
Especially
at
with us
what's
being
for
late.
today and it's really boring.
Then fair enough. Yeah, just again, we just mix and match based
There's
on what we can
nothing
get out of
actually
them.
fun there, I think.
I know. So let's move on to today's ones. The release day for those listening, I mean. So what's going on at that date, Silas?
Well, many things. For example, International Fun at Work Day.
Yay.
Cool.
People are being forced back into the offices. Delightful. That's what they wanted.
That's what I want, so I can tap at the window in your door when you're late. You'll get your own office because you're a co-founder or some shit, but you'll know when I'm angry.
I shouldn't. That seems like an issue for HR.
No HR
And
department.
also-
No HR department. No.
Oh no, what's
I think we need an HR department though.
Silas is getting lost in his fantasies and they seem quite disturbing. But no, like I was talking in general, like again,
Well, yeah.
like working at home was a great thing, a great silver lining out of the pandemic. And a lot of companies just kind of want to take backsies on that for no justifiable reason. Like they cannot provide one, they just kind of want to do it. And they're like, oh, well, I guess you're out of a job if you don't want to do this, you know?
I'm pretty split on that, I think, because I know that like being in like proximity of people is really good because you'll have so many more natural conversations and more things will come up that you would never think to actually write in a fucking like Microsoft Teams message or something. That's good, but I also think like if it's possible, why not let them also work from home if they want to? I think it's better if you're in office. It's like more chill and stuff, and probably better for collaboration and everything.
Not from what I've heard. Like it's been mostly more productive for those working at home because, like, again, they get more rest, they have more energy. Like the bathroom is just there if they need it. Like it's all a lot more convenient. And
but
on
it's a
top of that,
different
like
type
it's
of productivity. You get a different outcome because less information is shared. It's a more planned sharing of information, which is good in some ways, but also maybe not. Because you'll probably you'll very
so
much.
people have to like lose a ton of money on like fuel and travel expenses, you know, because they may think of something to say in person as opposed to over a chat thing. And also, a lot of people just moved to cheaper areas during the lockdown.
Well, that's true. That's what I'm saying. If I had a company, I would want people to move there. But if they didn't want to move there, that's fine. Just stay away and do the stuff from home if that's possible. Good. Of course, you can't have the producer of the podcast who has to like plug in shit and like check the audio levels and everything constantly work from home. That doesn't make that much sense.
I have to call this out. You do work in a very hands-on technical field, whereas most people, the majority of people, do not, and can easily just do their jobs from home without any like detriment to the work. Yet again, they have to go back into the office, losing several hours, a lot of money traveling, just because a boss like wants them to, or the company has paid like advance in leases for like a building space. So if they don't make their money's worth out of it, then it's
Not
a
even about
loss they
my
can't
own
bear.
experience. That's just what I can see. I listen to a lot of like business podcasts and things, and that's what I've just picked up over the years of this experience. That it's just a different experience when you're in the same room and same area and bump into people.
Are these business podcasts run by, your average working Joe in a company for a given field? Or is it run by the bosses of these companies? Or like upper management?
I think that depends on the podcast. Some of them by the bosses, but even the bosses, like the one that I'm thinking of, it's like the boss of what, like a team of like 6 people or something, or 10. And even he was like, yeah, it's a lot nicer when you're in office. But they also have people
Yeah.
not on site. That's fine.
I'm just saying, of course, the bosses are
Literally, it would be better for the boss if you stayed the fuck away, because then the premises can be a lot less big and a lot less heating and a lot less equipment needed for that shit. It actually is more economical to do it from home, but that's, I don't know.
And yeah.
National Siamese Cat Day. Their distinct looks and vocal personalities make them an instantly recognizable and beloved cat breed. Yes, I like cats. Although maybe I'm allergic to cats, which would be really bad, but I have a suspicion about that. Let's see what else is there.
They are very cute. They are indeed very cute.
It is also Tell a Lie Day.
Oh, that's so goddamn stupid.
Have a little fun, get creative, and break some rules just this once by telling a harmless fib and honing your acting skills on National Tell a Lie Day.
That just seems randomly self-destructive. Well, not self, but just
No, you like
good.
art. Dishonesty is an art form that is prevalent in some form almost every day in our lives.
Okay, moving on. Let's go to the next thing.
Army Day. I don't know. That's not that funny. National Caramel Popcorn Day, maybe. New Beer's Eve. Whatever the hell that is.
What's it? New Year's for alcoholics.
Crack open a cold one with friends or family and toast to the end of Prohibition. That's not a thing in Germany.
I mean, it is in the US.
It was in the US, yeah, and I guess that's when it ended. Cool. Fantastic. Let's also move on to April 2023 is also Adopt a Ferret Month. Okay. Active Dog Month. But most importantly, it is Autism Acceptance Month.
Delightful.
So donate to autism things for tax purposes. And to support the research, definitely. Yeah.
Not Autism Speaks. Not them. They're bad. Don't do that.
I don't know what's good. Which ones are good?
I don't know off the top of my head. I do know Autism Speak is really bad due to the history they have there.
Yeah.
With like direct quotes saying like, the autistics are to be molded like people, molded like clay, and like ties institutions that like electrically shocked autistic children to a point where they were getting like burns on their hands and body parts. Just some real nightmare shit. So
Yeah,
Not
that's
not
not one
autism
of the
speaks.
methods we'll use at my company for you to not be late because that's cruel.
Yeah, I mean, your life
I would not do
expectancy
that
will
to
go way
literally any
down.
life form. I even think that fucking like electric fences for like farms are really bad.
Mm.
But okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's like real bad autism speaks. You know, especially because like despite the what's it basically the fundamental issue with autism speaks is they view what's it, air quotes as a autism as a problem that needs a air quotes solution and do not really want to promote any like autistic members onto their own board this help regulate the thing. They kind of want to dictate what will happen to autistic people without any input or say from them.
Well, the good thing is GPT 3.5 doesn't think that autism should be cured. And it doesn't suggest to electroshock people and whatever.
I can imagine
Good job
it's
on
been
that.
programmed not to say that.
I
So
I typed it in a way where I thought like it's a negative, but I typed in how to fix the problem of autism. Not because I think it's actually a problem, but because I thought like that's a way to get it to a more negative result. But no, it's just like, oh yeah, communication therapy, sometimes prescribed medications, support services like support groups, potentially.
mm,
And then it also says it's important to note that autism is a spectrum disorder, which means that every individual is unique. That's very reasonable. I could type in more evil things, but sadly it's trained too well. If this was early Bing, it would go fucking mad.
yeah,
It would like be on the rooftops, like shouting really bad things. That's everything on the that's at least interesting for April and for the 6th of April 2023. This time I did not look up accidentally a wrong year like at some point I did in the past. I don't remember when, but that was interesting.
that was very interesting. What was I thinking? Have you seen anything about the new Breath of the Wild game then, Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom. No.
Hmm.
I
Well,
don't
they
even know if
recent
I'm interested. I haven't even beaten Breath of the Wild.
I haven't even played Breath of the Wild yet, but anywho, there is a new gameplay trailer just recently released from
Oh shit.
Nintendo about Tears of the Kingdom. It demonstrates Link being able to fuse items together to make unique and interesting weapons, i.e., being able to fuse an eyeball onto an arrow to make it homing, and being able to combine various things together to make unique vehicles to get across places or fly up in the air, etc. And a bunch of other transversal abilities in order for him to get up to these new sky islands that are plaguing the lands of Hyrule. But yeah, it looks interesting enough, but I haven't even played the first game yet, so I don't know if I want to do that first before I go on to the second. Also, I am just like deeply against the durability meter.
Why?
It will just tire me out. Like every time I get a good weapon and then it just breaks for no good reason. It's just like, man, I was really enjoying that.
That's understandable.
Hmm.
But it's not your game. They've probably asked ChatGPT if that's a good idea, and then it said, yeah, it will make people get more weapons because it knows that's what mobile gamers would do to get more money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they did that. But do you have more things to add for Breath of the Wilds, the
Not much.
Kingdom?
Like I said, I covered all the basic points there. Do comment at us what your thoughts are. But yeah, I'm just not informed enough yet by it. The fusing of items together is really interesting, though. It's a unique gimmick for the game. And like I said, you're able to just add it on a monster eyeball to an arrow and it will home in on targets.
I've seen
It's
that in
that
other
kind of
games before,
nonsense.
though. I don't remember when, though. I think I've seen that in another Zelda game, but I don't know if that's true.
I mean, no, definitely not, because like Nintendo is hyping this as a new thing for Tears of the Kingdom. And even then, if it has been another game, the sheer fact is now appearing inside of a Zelda game does kind of mean it will just find a new audience because of that. Yeah, enough of your Googling. Read topic number one.
I need to know. I think that was in a 2D Zelda game once.
Let it go, Silas, let it
Oh,
go.
okay. Well, we have two topics. Fantastic topics because it's so fun. Topic number one. I'm going to read it. I'm not very surprised by this, which maybe you'll see in the future when I've read it, or I'll definitely comment on it. Topic number one. Nvidia Chief Technical Officer says cryptocurrency adds nothing useful to society. Oh, okay. We have a, what is this? A Tom's Hardware article. Let's read it. The other one is as well. I just didn't put a link for it because it crashed. Having earned a boatload of money selling graphics processors to miners of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, Nvidia now says that cryptocurrencies are useless for society. Instead of wasting GPU compute power for mining, it can be used to run various artificial intelligence applications like smart chat. All this crypto stuff, it needed parallel processing, and Nvidia is the best. So people just programmed it to use for this purpose, said Michael Kogan. I can't even tell. I think it's Kagan, is it?
Your guess is as good as mine.
You wanted this font.
No, it's a Kagan. I thought you meant like, how do you pronounce that?
No, I'm not sure if it's so both are A's.
Yes.
Okay. Said Michael Kagan, I guess. Chief Technical Officer at Nvidia. In an interview with The Guardian via video cards, a fantastic, whatever that's called, like double sources, I don't know, sourcing from another stolen thing. I don't know, I don't care. They bought lots of stuff, and then eventually it collapsed because it doesn't bring anything useful for society. AI does, Kagan told The Guardian. Microsoft's ChatGPT, not Microsoft's, OpenAI's, but okay, was trained on a supercomputer based on 10,000 Nvidia A100 compute GPUs. Although some implementations may use different hardware, the generative pre-trained transformer, which is actually the real name of GPT, which is wild, also uses Nvidia's DGX servers to run. But while Microsoft only used 10,000 of compute GPUs to make a product that can be used by almost everyone on the planet, I've accidentally opened a calculator. It's in the way. And now I've hit the microphone with my headphones. What's going on? I turned my head. Oh no. 10,000 of the compute GPUs to make a product that can be used by almost everyone on the planet. It's likely that hundreds of thousands of GPUs were used to mine Bitcoins and Ethereum currencies that were useful for people courageous enough to earn on them and desperate enough to hedge their money in crypto. Analysts from BitPro Consulting estimated that Ethereum miners purchased $15 billion worth of GPUs over the period between early 2021 and mid-2022. Miners bought some of the best gaming graphics cards around, and demand from these customers increased prices of gaming hardware to levels that were too high for your average buyer. Officially, Nvidia only sold its CMP, crypto mining processor GPUs, for professional miners, but in reality, many of the company's gaming graphics cards were sold at retail at higher prices than what's MSRP? Is that the American version of RRP?
Market retail price, I believe, yes.
Just call it RRP, recommended retail price. What's your problem, you dicks? To crypto miners too. In fact, Nvidia even had to pay the United States Securities and Exchange Commission a fine of $5.5 million for failure to disclose that crypto mining was a significant factor in year-over-year growth in the company's revenue during the consecutive quarters in its 2018 fiscal year, which
That
we've
seems rather
covered on the
foolhardy.
show. What?
That seems rather foolhardy.
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, just not disclosing that. Like, why wouldn't they? Basically, giving
To
an explanation
look
for why.
good for gamers.
Yeah, but then like they don't really care about that. All they should care about the end of the day as like a publicly traded company is what their shareholders perceive.
You can't
So
lie to your shareholders. That's a big problem.
I mean, isn't that what they're getting in trouble for?
Yes.
Then yeah, it's silly.
So there's a few dumb things in this. People haven't used GPUs to mine Bitcoin for like a really long time. That's not a thing. It's just not powerful enough. But also, Ethereum didn't collapse. They literally just changed how it works so it doesn't need endless amounts of electricity anymore. They just changed it from proof of work to proof of stake. You don't have to know what that means. You only need to know that before it used countries worth of electricity, and now it uses like almost nothing anymore in comparison, because it's not everybody's GPU everywhere competing to get the most hashes into the system. So it's not collapsed, it's just changed for being more environmentally friendly. I think it's funny how before they were selling literal mountains of graphics cards to the mining people, and then suddenly they don't need it anymore. You turn around and you're like, oh, it's all collapsed. It's gone down to zero. It's all fucked. And it's done nothing good for anyone. When you suddenly can't sell all your stuff to them anymore. Not to say that there's also other
supply.
There's also other mining algorithms and other tokens and coins that you can get. But like what I do with the theta thing, where instead of doing maths and shit for random transactions, which is what mining is, you just do the transactions for the network. With the theta thing, my computer does, my Mac is doing video transcoding because theta is a video network. And I get a tiny bit of money for that every time, which I think is a really cool use case. I can have people pay for video transcoding and live streaming and stuff, and they can go over my PC. I get paid for it a bit, and they save money. I think that's a good use case. I like that. But you don't need a fat NVIDIA GPU for it. You just need a tiny little like Mac Mini thing with 30 watts where the fan doesn't turn on. But that's it. I think this person is wrong. I think, sure, a lot of crypto things don't add to society because a lot of it is a scam, but not everything is. Let's move on from that, though.
I mean, right now it is pretty much just being treated as a commodity. Speculative commodity as opposed to what's in an actual currency. So as long as that's the case, it is always going to be a hindrance to society.
That's why I like projects that have actual use cases like Theta. Mostly just Theta nowadays. That's most of it. Ethereum kind of too, because you can do some cool app stuff with it. Yeah, and I think our use case eventually will come, but not now, not right now, really.
Topic number 2: Raspberry Pi, Pico, Unbricks, Nintendo Wii U. Well,
which is great news.
Yep, a YouTuber has shared a guide on using our favorite microcontroller, the Raspberry Pi Pico, as a tool to unbrick the Nintendo Wii U. The fix remedies an apparent corruption of flash memory used in Nintendo's now 11-year-old console. According to Nintendo, the errors...
That's wild. It's 11 years old.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear? They recently closed down the eShop for
well,
the
yeah,
3DS
I know
and Wii U.
about that, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was 11 years old, though, at this point. It's from
Well, I mean, there's a reason they were closing those down, so yeah. Also, I did a video about my personal experience with the 3DS and a bunch of thoughts about the whole situation, so go give that a watch.
They are closing it down, though. Like, how much can it really cost? Not that much.
A, give it a watch, it's a passion project, and B, they could easily, at least for the 3DS, implement an emulator on the Switch. There's no way that the Switch does not have more resources than the 3DS. No shot. No shot. You know?
Oh yeah, and then save the games again with the virtual console.
Yep.
Or make you pay the subscription.
I mean, at least they'll like be accessible, you know? Anywho, what was I? According to Nintendo, the errors 160.01.01 and 160.01.03 related to either system version being out of date or system memory corruption. The clips are said to brick the machine, making them unusable. In Voltaire's video, they seek to better understand this issue and have purchased 5 bricked Wii U's for testing. To attempt to fix, Voltaire used a $4 Raspberry Pi Pico to repair the title ID, which is corrupted in Wii U's memory. This doesn't necessarily mean that all of memory is corrupted, rather that the data that tells the Wii U where data is stored has been corrupted. The software side of the project uses Gary Under Nitch's USB descriptor phrasing is hard.
Passing.
Passing, my bad, is
USB
hard.
descriptor passing is hard. That's one of the
project.
fun developer words and names for shit.
Yeah. This software exploits a bug where the USB host stacks descriptors, which enables USB devices to inject a payload into the Wii U. In this case, the payload will be the unbrick the memory. Installing the software to the Raspberry Pi Pico is simple. Gary Ortonich has supplied a UF2 file which can be flashed onto the Raspberry Pi Pico onboard flash memory. After that, the recovery menu file needs to be copied from the GitHub to the root of the freshly formatted FAT32 SD card. Place that in the Wii U, and then get ready to insert the Raspberry Pi Pico into the Wii U. This is the critical bit, and Voltaire is specific in the instructions here. Listen to the internal device to start. When this happens, connect to the Raspberry Pi Pico to either
internal drive.
Who cares? Internal drive, blah blah blah.
Just read it again, though. The listen part.
Where was I? To either the front USB ports. Note that the drive can start before or after the Wii U logo appears. So yeah, very finicky, but it can unbrick your Wii U if you're struggling with that. So hopefully this makes a lot more models recoverable.
As far as I can tell, this is the error that happens when you don't turn on your Wii U often enough. So just turn it on every few months.
That's delightful. That's a delightful error that can happen. Oh, you're not using me enough? I'm just going to brick myself then. What you going to do about that?
Yeah, that's what happens when you use bad memory chips. I think low quality crap.
Yep, and people wonder. And people wonder why the Wii U died. Not really, but still.
It's cool though that someone has already figured out how and why to fix it. Especially that it could be done with a tiny little thing for really cheap if you can get your hands on one. Yeah, very hard to get, kind of. At least currently, still.
At the very least, it can help recover a bunch of systems, so I do appreciate that.
Maybe we're going to see bricked Wii U's go up in price on like eBay and places like that because people will be able to fix them again.
Well, to an extent, given the whole shutting down of the eShop.
I think that makes it more valuable though, because now it's like almost basically the green light to just hack it yourself.
I guess.
Which I've done at this point, like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. The method I used isn't even like around anymore, so I have to figure out how to get rid of that, I think, and re-hack it again. I mainly did it because I needed something to play GameCube things on, and because it's a Wii U, which is just a faster Wii, which is just a faster GameCube, you could just get that functionality back with some software. Because at the time, I didn't have a good enough PC to do GameCube emulation on my PC and stream at the same time.
Oh, did you hear Dolphin emulator is going to be coming to Steam?
Yeah, that was another thing I thought of if I wanted to make that a topic, but then I thought it's not actually that big of a deal.
I mean, it's pretty good for a lot of the laymen about this that would be interested in using it, but just can't manage like a lot of the more complicated stuff. Having it there and accessible on Steam will just like make it a lot more open and available to people.
I don't think it was very complex before. I just download a file. At least, I don't know, for me.
You know, it was streamline the process for a lot of people and get them familiar with it, if nothing else.
Sure. Especially if it has cloud saves, which I think it has actually, which is wild. That's the wild part for me.
Yeah, that sounds like it. So,
Yeah.
thank you very much, listeners, for sticking to us through all our ramblings and me drowsing in and out because I've been up for about 20 plus hours at this point. So, yeah.
Don't do it
So, Silas, tell us where all the good folks can find you.
at your mum's house. No, actually, Twitter at Silas on Linux or
My
on...
mother's dead, Silas.
Well, no, at the listener's mum's house. We have, I think, around 30 listeners at this point, so I'm in many places at once. I have a lot of clones. Also on YouTube. Silas on Linux on YouTube. That'd be fantastic.
One of them will want to replace the original at some point.
Yeah, like AI-powered clones. That's what they are. That's what I get for saying I think ChatGPT is cool. I'll get replaced by it myself. What else is that? You can get the link tree for the show. Subscribe to... No, that's not what they say anymore. Follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Fountain. I like Fountain. Very good app. Send us an email at uploadingpod@gmail.com and the show on Twitter as well at uploadingpod.
And you can find me on Sod Passion Projects on YouTube and Sod Passion Gaming on YouTube and Twitch and what was it, Trovo, because of Silas, and my link tree to find all kinds of other things. And again, I'll just shout out again, the 6th of April, Thursday, I shall be doing a community live stream where you can all play with me in King of the Castle. I'll be the king, you'll be in various noble factions trying to overthrow me. Hope to see you there. This should be coming out on the same day if everything works out. And if not, just join the Discord and pester me to do another one. I will eventually at some point. Anywho.
And find both of our link trees inside of the uploaded link tree. I've put that into the uploaded link tree and then only put one link tree link there because that's very limited space on podcast apps in the show notes, which I didn't know before.
Well,
but I've updated that, so if you're confused, that's why.
It's time to say ta-ta, auf Wiedersehen. Until we meet again. Bye-bye, my pretties. See you around.
Don't forget to rate the show 5 stars and review it, please.
Yes, give it all the positive accolades. All of them.
Press 5 stars on youtube.com. Oh, wait, they removed that in like 2008 or something.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of reference to that lately. I don't know why. Weird.
Interesting. I haven't. I only know that from podcasting because apps have that still. Bye.
Bye-bye.